saying back there a minute ago, it's a pretty sophisticated army that he had when he was trying to harass that exterior of the Terran's base. So, you know, when you lose that, it's not easy to just remake it all and be back to what you had before.
Yeah, and I wonder if he had enough splash damage there. Yeah, he had some Psy Storms and whatnot, but maybe he needed just a little bit more supply together there. The flank blink-in was quite nice, but at the end of the day, Maru just continuing to pump out of these racks is kind of equalizing that, taking out the whole army.
We're about to see ground weapons level 3 get upgraded here.
And shields level 2.
Yeah, that's true. We don't actually see that very often, Artosis. That's kind of cool.
Well, with this many bases, why not?
Yeah, why not? Get everything, man.
Zess has been expanding like a madman all game long.
You know, for the first time a little bit ago, we actually saw Maru in a supply lead against Zest. That's the first time in this game we've had that, with Zest starting off with just a very strong opening. But this game is starting to balance out, and we are slowly seeing this map get cut in half.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it at the moment. Now, with these ghosts being added in, all those Archons that were made, we'll see how cost-efficient that they can remain. I love the fact that we're seeing like these Vikings kind of having to be added in. The Archons, if those get under them, will just smash those Vikings in a matter of seconds.
Nice, unpowering those cannons. He's going to be able to get this Nexus over here. No way can the Protoss army get over here in time. This Nexus is going to go down.
Yeah, we do have some Adepts coming down to try to stop this, but an easy lift up and evacuation here from Maru.
Okay, the Medevac's now coming back here. He is unloading over an Observer. And Terran has expanded over here to this upper left location. It doesn't seem like Zest is really able or willing to do anything about it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We don't see him really trying any Warp Prism harassment. Like, is Maru that sewn up tight? I don't think it's actually the case. Like, he already brought his Cyclone out of his base and lost it. Yeah, he has things like Vikings that can definitely punish a Warp Prism, but I feel like he should be trying at least a little bit of harassment here.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, he's just sort of sitting there.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he did make a couple Tempests, and, I mean, can't really do anything with him right now.
There's 4 Ghost Academies on the way.
Oh, my God.
Nuke time, baby.
Nuke town.
Oh.
Take me down to Nuking Town.
Where the grass is green and the girls are pretty.
That's right. That's right. That's why I cast with you, Artosis. Okay, so we're going to have a lot of nukes coming up here. Is this actually going to be that strong? I don't know. Nukes are like, everybody gets excited, and then, you know, we normally don't see them connect with anything.
The last one we saw didn't even get launched last week. So
yeah.
Just kind of sat there. Well, like every upgrade in the universe being taken right now, ghosts being added, nukes on the way. Both players are maxed out with insanely strong armies, both of them having huge incomes as well.
Yeah, so they're going to have a lot in the bank to play with after they start to lose their armies.
Yeah.
Is it 5 nukes? Yeah, that is. It's 5 nukes being made.
Wow.
Man.
Oh my God.
Oh,
guys,
man.
Tell your friends. What the hell? 5
Get
nukes.
in here.
Maru is going to nuke Zest 100%. It's going to happen. 100%.
Okay. We have a few small drops coming around right now. And the first nuke, it's been triggered. It's over here.
Awesome. Well,
So
we have
it's
a high
making
tempo
laps.
right there. That's going to be very expensive to lose, and quite a few probes.
Oh, my God. Yeah, a good number of workers. Let's see if we can catch the one. We're trying to catch whichever one it comes out of.
Whoa.
Wrecked. Okay.
10 probes, High Templar, 3-4 Zealots. Fantastic.
He's going to keep nuking. He's not done. Nukes everywhere. Oh, my God. This is so cool. Oh, my God. It's like happening all over the place, man.
This is so awesome.
He's just going to keep doing it. Look at this. Look at this. Zest, can someone get a camera shot of Zest? I mean, what is his face like over here? I'm actually turning around my chair.
There's mass nukes right now. I can't even believe what I'm seeing. Okay, looks like Zest is starting to fight back here, moving his observers around, trying to figure this out. More and more nukes just constantly being made. More Ghost Academies on the way even. I am loving it.
Oh, man.
Dude, the fact that, like, this is actually what late game Legacy of the Void can be. There's so much stuff that can go on, and you're spread so far out that there are moves like mass nukes going on.
We're finally in this supreme late game here in Protoss versus Terran.
Maru has been one of the best Terrans in the world for years, and he is mass nuking one of the best Protoss players that's been around for years.
You know, if he keeps nuking that Nexus eventually will be destroyed. I mean, I hate to state the obvious, but that would actually be pretty crazy if the structures actually start to be taken out. More importantly, though, he's just not able to mine from it.
Look at this micro.
Terran actually stimming, coming up now as the Protoss army's out of position. The Nexus taking so much damage. Nukes are even being set up to be used defensively so that Protoss can't engage.
If he
this
happens
is
to walk
so
through,
sick.
he might walk through. He takes a little bit of hull damage right there. Defensive nukes going off. He's going to force Zest to back up or find these ghosts to kill.
He's even willing to nuke his entire army
The
right here.
The nuke
is right on top of his army.
Oh my God. Whoa! Landing on the Tempest, maybe not doing as much as he wanted, but still pretty sick.
Meanwhile, back in Terran land, he is untouched. He can just keep producing. Protoss probably tempted to make a counterattack, but he's already not been mining from 2 bases and just had one destroyed.
Zest has a really big supply advantage as far as army goes, but we do have defensive nukes going down, trying to catch Zest moving in. Zest moving towards the north right now. Got to take down some of these extra bases for Maru.
In some of these positions, he is canceling the nukes. I would assume we'll see the Terran army scramble up here to the top left.
We have 8 Liberators in production, by the way. More racks is being added all over. 4 nukes being made. Looks like Zest will grab this base, so that's a very strong kill. But we do have all of these Liberators and whatnot moving up here.
I'm wondering if you could try to trap this with nukes on the way back here. Oh my God, more nukes coming down here with the DT to take that out pretty quickly.
Well, he does blank away from this nuke. Probably wants to cancel that nuke off. Doesn't want to accidentally
nuke himself.
Yeah, that would be really, really bad.
That's never good. Vehicle plating +3 complete, by the way. An upgrade
That's crazy.
We don't oftentimes get to highlight.
That's awesome.
This shows you how intense this is.
This is just craziness. We have a lot of Vikings coming out right now, realizing that there are quite a few Tempests on the map. That's 6 Vikings, though. I don't know. You got to be careful. If you overmake Vikings, then the ground force, like the reinforcements, are going to get you so quickly. But I think he just wants to make sure that his Liberators get their damage. And did he, by the way, because he got so many upgrades, I actually missed it. Did he actually get Liberator range? Because I'm not sure that he did.
Not sure, actually.
That's definitely a very important, good upgrade. Yeah, it doesn't look like he actually took it.
Storm's coming down here. Protoss cannot engage this. He has to use a Tempest to try to pick off in the back. But he can actually leapfrog with the Liberators. Look at this. He can just edge forward, set up these positions.
And this is how you can push with some of these high-tech siege units.
Yep, just keep
leapfrog
leapfrogging
them and, you know, poke them with everything. Yeah, he doesn't have a Liberator range
yet.
yet.
My God, DT's being spread out here. He can actually go right under that, even taking out these turrets if he wants.
In the same way that Cloak Ghosts with nukes are going to be useful in the late game, Dark Templars, even though there's a lot of you know, detection around, it's just there's so much to try to keep track of. In the meantime, we do have an attack down here on the 4th base of Maru. Really not much left there.
The problem here is this army can actually get trapped in here if Terran hits it just right.
Yeah, in fact, that's what he's going for.
Oh, man, here we go.
Yeah, he's setting up all these liberation zones as quickly as he possibly can. We do have High Templars over here. He's got to be careful. He might go through a bunch of storms.
Protoss narrowly escaping each liberation zone as he continues to be on the run. Terran, though, not stopping, continuing to pursue.
A lot of Side Storms going down. Some Archons being marked as well. Not as many Side Storms as he hoped. It looks like Maru should be able to break through this army.
Yeah, it seems like, well, hold on, those 3 Archons finished, and then actually the splash causes him to go back.
Oh, all these Liberators behind will provide him with a way out of here.
Yep, he's got cover. He's safe over on that side of the map.
Just crazy right now.
And as this game goes forward, it looks like the tides have turned yet again. Protoss is going to try to push forward here, hoping that Terran's army is a bit too disjointed. Not sure if it's going to work, though.
All right, well, you know, Maru still has very good income, as does Zest. They actually have very similar incomes right now, very similar supplies, so still definitely could be anyone's game. A lot of Liberators still being made. Does start setting up more Liberation zones, brings those Vikings forward. Needs to keep pushing those Tempests off. We do have High Templars coming down. Beautiful storm flank going down.
Really good job. Really good job. Zest might be on the brink of actually getting into the main here.
Might be right about that. A lot of liberation zones actually going up right now.
Protoss moving forward. So much damage here, though, on the ground.
Those Liberators maybe went too far, and the push forward from Zest here is super strong. More units being made by Maru. But this is a very strong push by Zest going on.
I think Zest might have just done it.
He might have done it.
I think he just barely has enough. I think he needs to make it into the main here, though. I don't know if he wants to go for expansions or what exactly his plan is.
It's hard to say. I'd love to see a unit tab right now and just see like what Maru has to work with for medevacs. I'm not sure of the exact count.
Okay, he's headed up here to the top left.
Ooh, only 7 Ghost Academies. I think he needed 8 or 9.
I think that Zest just systematically destroys the remaining bases.
He's very mobile right now, for sure.
I mean, granted, Maru can make Liberators and probably re-secure this and make it hard for Protoss to get in there, but I would also assume that Protoss can keep mass producing and possibly breach this, even though the Liberators are pretty solid for defense, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
that's my read so far, at least.
Well, I would love to see if Maru can maybe reestablish one of these bases. Scanning, actually, to see if Zest did take that bottom middle base at 6 o'clock.
Defensive nuke here to zone out the Terran. Will most likely be canceled as he does land the command center up here and begin to mine from this.
Yeah, he's got to get that mining done. Only 2 bases not taken on this map. The minerals really drying up everywhere. And again, these guys have somewhat similar supply. Definitely Zest with a bit of a supply lead here, a bit of a stronger army. But if Maru takes these fights right, continues to increment out some of these units, such as these Liberators, he definitely could end up taking these fights.
Okay, he's coming forward. We might need to see these Stalkers blink underneath this Liberator and take it out. He does take it out anyways.
Oh, nice side storm does
so
go
good.
down. Looks like he does have to start backing up. Good position here from Maru as he pulls back. Looks like he lost, or had to float that command center at least.
Still losing a lot of SCVs back there. We only have 3 actually. No, actually a little bit more than that, mining from that base.
Yeah.
The kiting is quite good here. We need to see some more warpins for Protoss.
Well, don't forget, there's very little splash damage here. Like, only Archon hits at the moment. So Terran Bio still does a pretty good job in a big enough number here. Those Adepts on the front line really helping to deal a lot of damage very quickly. Another warp in here in the back. We do have Marines flanking a little bit. With only Stalkers left over here. Oh, Maru just doesn't quite have enough units. Does have to back up for a moment.
Yeah, I think he's done it. He gets that, takes out the command center. By the way, the upper left, I think, is almost mined out. I'm not entirely sure.
It's getting pretty low, yeah. And that extra base for Zest, that's kind of like in that nook and cranny near his third base. Like, I think that was technically the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th base he took. I think that's starting to get pretty low.
Yeah, Zest also on his side of the map doesn't have a lot of bases he can take. So if this game goes on for the super long, there should be more minerals within the reach of Maru to take advantage of.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. The 6th and 7th of Zest, whoever thought we'd say that, are drying up slowly but surely here. We might be nearing the end here. Maru barely able to produce.
Yeah, it's actually 93 supply to 65, despite this a map that's been cut in half.
Oh man,
it's down to a few very well microed units.
Warping and Stalkers here against a lot of Marauders. The Tempests are actually doing some serious work here, but the Marauders killing the entire ground force.
Yep.
Look at the production tab. It's almost nothing now.
Yeah, that's true. Scans over here. He wants to see if Protoss has taken any of the other bases.
Yeah.
The answer is no. However, he still has enough bases mining that he's pretty much fine. Floating the command center over here.
We just saw Zest sink the rest of his money into 12 Adepts here, and these Adepts will make short work of Stim Marines, so it's pretty tough for Maru at the moment. He has to be really scared of this army.
I think the checkmate play is to actually have Protoss move up to the upper left and take out the command center, which you see landing right now.
He does have a Zealot here that's going to be picked off for free. Oh, that Widow Mine. Oh, that's too bad. Widow Mine's really good against Adepts. Not much left here for Maru. This should be his last stand.
Got to be careful. Does take out that Observer. And we see the command center now being lifted. A Warpism comes in over here for some more Warpids.
Oh, this is way too much. The economy of Zest really kicking in. GG.
Damn, I love that
insane.
game.
Oh my god. Fantastic. Fantastic
Cool,
play.
man.
Oh man, Zest taking game number 1.
I love it.
Really back and forth, good game there. A lot of nukes from our really great strategies from both sides. Zest looking like he was on his back foot a few times, but you know, at the end of the day, staying strong with that very mobile army of his.
I love that opening from Zest. Let's see what he does in this next game. Maru, by the way, he needs to be commended for how well he played back there. He got to that Supreme lane game. He was utilizing the nukes. He was doing a good job, but I think there were moments when Maru engaged incorrectly.
Yes, that's exactly
the
what I
nuke play was not the mistake.
No, I agree with you completely here, Tasteless. Like, I think the place, like, it's such a long and complex game and in unmapped out territory for this matchup right now in Legacy of the Void that there were, I'm sure, several minor mistakes throughout the game from both sides, but when Maru started sieging up all his Liberators over the army, then had to suddenly turn around and run, which sacrificed like 7-8 Liberators, I think that's where it really went wrong for him. I think that's where Zest got the edge that he never gave back.
Looks like we're ready for game number 2. Thank you for joining us here at AfreecaTV for the GSL CodeA. Unreal that we're seeing Maru against Zest in a CodeA match.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens when you get all fresh seeds.
That's right.
All right.
And our game is loading up. Lariac Crest is going to be the map, a 4-player map. Let's see what happens. Zest up 1 game right now in a best-of-5. Maru, well, he still needs to win one. Anyways, I'm Tasteless with the Azartosis, and this is the GSL CodeA.
Introducing our Terran player, one of the best in the world, in the bottom right.
지네어 그리닉스 마루.
His opponent, revered amongst Protoss players around the world. Oh, that one was too fast. What the hell? That wasn't fair. But, I mean, it's just so fantastic. Like, especially with the fact that Rain retired, Zest is taking up the mantle of, like, the safe Protoss pretty much completely. I have him pegged as a complete turtle toss myself, as the guy to study right now if you want to play a defensive macro game.
Thank you for taking those intros, Artosis. I had to grab my other coffee.
Yeah.
It's going to be a late night here, but I cannot complain, man. These games are so good.
Look, the fact that, I mean, people can tell the passion is missing. If that game didn't give you caffeine directly into your veins, Tasteless.
Where's your hashtag passion? All right. So they're both sharing the bottom here, which means they'll both eventually be expanding upwards. We'll see if Protoss tries to take an aggressive expansion here in the bottom center. That is an option.
Yeah, it definitely can be an option. It could be a little bit tricky trying to deal with drops in between those 2 bases, but kind of in an attack line. We'll see how he wants to deal with it. This map can be a little bit tricky for both sides. You know,
really
there's so much flat ground. Can be hard to defend against aggression.
And, yeah, we'll just have to see what builds they elect to do. We already see Zest going for this Adept early on. And I got to say, that last build we saw Zest do in that game, the DTs being warped in like that, that was just so cool.
Yeah.
And just shows what a solid build that is. You know, just splitting the DTs up so that Terran has to keep scanning.
Yeah.
And scanning.
Yeah.
And scanning. Meanwhile, back at home, Zest is expanding himself.
Totally. It's really, really cool play. Big fan of DT drops on Orbital Shipyard and Dusk Towers just because there are too many locations that the Terran has to defend so early. So definitely a solid strategy. I don't think that we'll see the same here. I don't think that this will be a DT drop, but if it is, I'd really actually be quite happy to be wrong about that and see how Zest makes that work out. But it feels a little bit more risky here where there's like, well, I guess he does have 3 locations to defend, kind of, but yeah.
Well, you know, the general school of thought in StarCraft, it's always been like this, is it's always better if they don't expect the DTs to come, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if you do DTs too often, then you become that Protoss.
Yeah, you don't.
And everybody just starts to suspect that you're going to do that, and they just defend before it can even get there. And then a lot of the value. Oh man,
good pickoff.
Nice shot.
Seriously.
So I mean, I would be surprised if Zest does it a ton, but you know, maybe he's here to teach us something. I mean, what to find out. Okay, it's not. It's going to be Blink.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense, just like with the way that this map is laid out. Like, not only can this give him great defense against anything incoming, you know, having 3 gates, Blink, and an Observer will basically defend anything Terran does early on. But also, just the fact that he can definitely put on some aggression. This is, again, a very flat map, a map where there isn't like a tiny choke that the Stalkers necessarily have to attack into.
Yeah, that's very true.
And like
not to mention, if Terran starts to get aggressive here, Blink is the perfect thing to try to hold things off with.
In fact, he's actually adding a lot of gateways right now.
Wow.
It looks like it's going to be a 6-gate Blink Stalker build. So,
okay, well, Terran's got to be careful attacking into this.
This is cool. Utilizing the Cyclone in its range, going to try to pick off this pylon.
Got to be careful with his control. Stalker's just barely outranging the Marines.
Look at this. This is like, he's like, okay, you're not going to have any cannon here. So now this side going to be a lot easier for him to siege up. Does bring in this Liberator. Very technical rush coming out of Maru here, but with this many gateways finishing and Blink coming closer to being done.
Yeah, I think he would just blink on top of that and kill.
He's going to be able to wreck it.
Miscontrol.
Yeah.
That was really
he needs
bad.
to get out of here. In fact, he's going to lose all those Marines.
Okay, I think this means the Stalker timing is going to win the game.
It very well may.
I don't know how you're going to stop this. It was a cool idea, but he didn't execute it properly, unfortunately.
He has a little bit of time because the Prism isn't out yet. There's no proxy pylon. So there's time for him to maybe get a defense together here. He does have a siege tank. He has a couple Liberators. These are really important units to help out against this.
Yeah, but with the Observer, I think he could just blink to where those are not, right?
Yeah, that's definitely something to be scared
of.
He might need to build an additional bunker on that high ground. Seeing that many Stalkers, there's a pretty good chance that he can guess what's coming. Another siege tank on the way. It's very hard to cover everything against this, but if he does, there's not like other upgrades going on for Zest. We don't see a third Nexus.
Now he's loading these sentries into the Warp Prism. I'm wondering if he's going to try to basically look very closely at which is weaker, the main or the natural, and possibly force field that ramp and engage the more favorable fight.
Yeah, this could be what we're about to watch. In fact, the Stalker's starting to move forward. He has good vision of everything with this Observer. Some pretty good liberation zones, actually. That makes it pretty difficult to get in, but, oh, that's a lot of Stalker. He's going to blow that up in 2 seconds.
All right, here we go. Takes out the Liberator. Next will be the siege tank. Force field there on the ramp. SCVs have been pulled. Immediately, he manages to pick up those Stalkers and blink out of the liberation zone.
Looks like those SCVs do get pulled back. This is just way too much damage going on. Another great force field coming down from Zest. Playing this game positionally just beautifully.
Zest is terrifying in this series.
Yeah.
And I think that should be game, right? Look at this. He's going to just get that Liberator, making these Liberators look like a joke. Damn, he's good. And look at this. He can now back up and eventually just blink on top of the tank.
GG.
Cool. Zest 2-0 in the lead right now. Maru is getting Shrek, guys. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, game 1, we saw a very close back and forth game, even though Maru took a lot of damage to early DT drop. Here, Maru actually chose the wrong build order.
I agree.
The thing is, Zest had way more gateways than you are normally going to see so early on in a Terran versus Protoss, which allowed him to bust that down, kill lots of extra units. Maru's poke build was really cool. Like, he was getting there, doing a little bit of damage with this very high-tech rush. But strategically, it's not like he didn't do something wrong. It's just he chose the wrong strategy compared to what Zest chose for this game.
Yeah, that's correct.
And Lairlac is one of those maps where, like, kind of like Prion Terraces and like a PvZ, where it's like, okay, what are you doing? This could decide it right this second.
Yeah, if I take this in the wrong direction, things are going to fall apart very quickly. Well, Maru in a very tough spot. He has to win 3 games in a row against Zest, who is just playing on a completely different level.
Yeah.
Particularly with the strategies he selected.
Yeah.
He is really taking Maru down a peg in the first few minutes of every game. And Maru's having to play catch up. Let's see if he can come back. Game number 3 is loaded up. Maru against Zest here in the GSL CodeA. In the bottom left in the blue.
지네어 그리닉스 마루.
In the upper right in the red.
KT 로스터 제스트.
I really want to see Maru bring this to Game 5, and it's definitely doable.
Yeah, me too.
That last game was not indicative of how the games between these two will normally look.
I wonder what strat Zest is going to use here as well. He's really opened up with solid builds. And Maru is really starting each game off on the wrong foot. And that's tough because Zest, like most good Protosses, is pretty creative. Okay, yeah. He has a wide array of different builds he can use in order to disarm a Terran. And this is the area in a best of 5 where Protoss really has the freedom to experiment, to take risks even. because Terran has to win every single game from here on out. So we might see some crazy cheese. We might see him faking him out a little bit. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and I like the way that Maru's approaching this for just going for a Reaper expansion here. Definitely on Orbital Shipyard, there's a lot of areas where you can jump up quite easily.
Sure.
So the odds of him being able to scout exactly what it is that Zest's first tech building is goes way, way up.
See? Here we go. Something's awry.
That
He's
definitely
already
could
hit
be
a
for a
pylon.
Stargate.
I think so.
Thing is, the Reaper might be able to find this. We will see.
Oh, let's see where he looks. Oh, man. Oh. Goes right by.
Now, this makes a lot of sense, and here's why. Maru got in with a... on Dust Towers, he got in with a Reaper, didn't scout the tech that he was looking for, he just saw a Robo, so scanned the other base. We could see something like that occur again here, but the scan won't see anything.
Okay, the Adept so far. Let's see if we get the scan over here on the upper right. We're watching the mini-map.
Yeah.
Nothing so far.
I think he might poke around the map a little bit more, maybe even try to jump in again as he heals.
Keep in mind there were DTs used in the first game, so we may be a little bit afraid of that as well, even though there's no threat of that whatsoever. Granted, occasionally the counter to DTs can be the counter to an Oracle. It depends on where you place that turret.
Yeah, that's
turret
very
over at
true.
the ramp does not really help you.
No, it does
against
not.
orbitals. All your SCVs still die.
You know, one cool thing, by the way, about how quickly he's made this Stargate and how close he's made it, the Oracle is going to be in the main base right before a Cyclone can be out, or normally.
Yeah, it looks like this game is shaping up to be like that as well. So
yeah, that's rough. That's really rough.
There's a chance he just shoots down the Marines and then just kills the SCVs.
It could be.
We'll have to see where the Marines are positioned. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think he's actually using his factory to build a reactor. Yeah, he is. So at least he is rallying his Marines where he needs them. Will there be a second Oracle?
Oh my God! In the hidden base.
Wow.
Excuse me.
Zest pulling out all the stops here.
And he immediately heads over here. Nothing here to defend
God.
these SCVs.
This is so much damage already.
And
this is so much damage.
Can he get that last SCV? Yes, he does. Now he's going to take out these Marines. He didn't make a second Oracle, right?
No.
No. Okay.
If he had, the game would basically... I don't know what Maru would be able to do. Already, this is very, very tough.
Not to mention that hidden base. That's yet another thing that Protoss is going to have to... Terran's going to have to find. And there's a high chance when already Terran's in bad shape that he won't be checking down there. Even making these Phoenixes, this is really cool. What does Terran want to do to try to come back? Well, probably harass, right?
Yeah.
Well, that Phoenix is going to make that a lot more difficult.
Yeah, like Zest, I don't think wants to follow up with Blink Stalker right now. So to get a few Phoenixes to help out against the drops that are definitely incoming from perhaps the best dropper ever in StarCraft 2, good to see.
Okay, well, the robotics facility is almost done. We are waiting for Stim to get done. With the medevacs, that will be Maru's moment to move out, but he's got to be careful. If he's caught out of position, if he's simply not ready, then Zest can clean this up, and it's nearly impossible game to recover from.
Now, there's not a lot of units at home for Zest. He is starting to warp in more and more adepts, which is definitely going to help.
You know what's funny about this? With the Phoenixes and the Oracle together, if the Phoenixes actually start to hit the medevac, he can, as he's unloading, he can activate the Oracle. And because they're increment out one by one, he might even be able to get a lot of Marines in this whole process.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
But that's not going to happen this time around. He's already got the unload.
Wow. Okay, so he's going to be able to cancel this fourth Nexus that he could think is the third, but he has to look at that and say, this is very late for an Oracle opening. You normally, as your first Oracle pops out, make a third Nexus. So maybe he can catch on to something being wrong here. Not sure.
Okay, he's coming up now.
Ooh,
Very
he can't
risky
attack
stuff.
into that.
Yeah, there's
he would lose
no
that.
way. But at the same time, he can actually stalk this all the way back to his base if he wants. In fact, I think the Marines are going to have to walk. I don't think he can do a pickup with Phoenixes out like this. So he's going to have to take it back the slow way. Probably going to come down here and take out the Stargate. Real question, though, is he going to be able to catch on to the hidden base down there in the bottom right?
Yeah, if he were to find that right this second and go to it,
I think he could win this game.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially with this other drop going as well. Like, I just don't know if he'll have the ability to see it. It's so much easier for us to look and be like, okay, isn't that third late? But He's already had an Oracle kill a bunch of his stuff, which threw him off, right?
Yeah.
I mean...
Okay, he's going to have to back up.
A lot easier to analyze when you're not playing the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Phoenix is starting to dip in. I was wondering if he was going to try any pickups there. But now here comes a drop over here in the main. We have the Photon Overcharge activated.
Yeah,
Phoenix is coming up to try to drive out this medevac.
Right out of the range of that.
Okay, he's going to try to come over here now. And he will end up getting this. And with the Oracle here and these Phoenixes, he actually does clean up this entire drop. Almost going through that Widow Mine, though.
Got to be careful about that.
Isn't this an awkward sight? Watching an Oracle kill off a Marauder.
Yeah.
Not too efficient.
All right,
he's got an unload over here. Now, will he go for the Nexus or does he go for the 2 sentries? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, grabbing the 2 sentries would be awesome. Obviously, canceling a Nexus is always going to be fantastic. But he's actually going to go for some probes. Looks like that's going to be the thing that works maybe the least best, but he ends up getting the 2 sentries. So, I mean, that's a quality move right there. Oh, my God, he's going to find it.
Does he see? Okay, yeah, he sees it. He knows.
Wow, that is a huge deal. He needs to kill that Nexus now before Zest gets out on this map.
Are there any pylons at that expansion? There should be at least one, right?
Don't believe there is one,
If there's no pylons there, that is free for the pickings.
Oh, yeah, the best thing he could do is recall to it, but I think his mothership core is out of position. It's not near his army. I don't think it's something that's realistic here.
We got a drop coming up over here. He needs to put these Widow Mines out of the range of the cannon. He does just that, but picking up the Widow Mines nicely done.
When you pick up 2, who shoots them? That's the question.
Man. This is, in fact, I don't know if, well, I would have to imagine. Okay, yeah, he knows about that expansion. I was going to say, that's just weird.
All right.
An attack over here at the front, going for these pylons.
Yeah, might want to back up here for a moment. Is sending some more units over to that hidden base. So Zest has to be looking at this in a little bit of fear. This game not going his way right now.
This is going to be fantastic if Morrow wins this, considering how this game started out with that Oracle taking out so many SCVs.
And we might see some of these. Look at the probes. They're going on a journey, man. They're like, we don't know. How do we stay alive here?
Tearing down the rocks. It is still a 3-base versus a brand new 3-base for Maru. So Zest, he's still, well, I was going to say just barely ahead. It looks like Maru's caught up a little bit here. But I think at this point in time, Zest is stabilized. He's not really going to be using this bottom right Nexus. He did mine a decent amount of minerals from there.
It's a good way to say it. He has kind of stabilized here. He's gotten like the right tech pieces for the most part. He's got a pretty solid army. He has some upgrades on the way. He has Templar Archives on the way. Taking a regular 4th base location as his 5th. I think the game is pretty much going to normalize from here, but you definitely do have to give an advantage to Maru. He's just got more to use right now.
Well, and he's pushing up here to hit this 4th base. I'm not entirely sure if Zest is prepared for this.
Nice little pick off there on a Widow Mine. We have a second force coming up from the side.
Don't forget that Psystorm is a little bit under halfway done.
Yeah, definitely won't have that for these next little attacks. That is a lot of adepts.
Yeah, it's
Be
pretty
very
crazy.
afraid.
He's going to drop actually over here into the upper right, I think.
Picking off more sentries, by the way, with very high energy as well.
Nice blink there.
Okay, he might want to get out of there with those, or at least bring up the rest of his units.
I don't know where his observer is for this moment. He should be able to bring that up here shortly.
All right, dropping off more units here is Maru. All the rest of the Adepts coming down, though. This could be a little bit scary. Starts to set this up. We do have High Templars coming down. Psystorm almost done. Is he going to do that?
Is he actually going to? He could try to come blink forward and just goes for it. Yep.
He just goes for it, but a pickup does go down, and actually kind of a weird,
a little bit
weird
of a
way to
fight.
deal with that.
In fact, he's not even stutter step microing here. He's just sort of running like he's also a Terran, like running with him.
Yeah. Picks off a few medevacs here pretty nicely. This went really wrong from I think he had like a cool idea and then realized it was wrong, and yeah, things went wrong right there.
That was kind of a funny moment, right? Like, we saw those Adepts come out, and even you were saying, like, is he going to do this?
Yeah.
And then he did it, and then we didn't even see him blink on top of the Liberator. He actually walked up and attacked it.
There was a lot of confusion from both sides.
There was a lot of miss there, but and in the end, it ended up working out pretty well for Zest.
Ooh.
By the way, the worker count here, Zest in that regard also still in the lead. And I think at this point in time, Maru says it's now or never. I have to push up here. For Terran, center, left, and bottom center, not very expandable. Protoss can hit you pretty hard there.
All right, just stem up here, has those Liberators to allow him a little area to micro in. Yeah, very nice tag there. Actually getting both the Widow
That was
Mines.
as complete as it could possibly be.
Yeah, I guess
You know?
it was.
Yeah. Okay, Phoenix is right now tanking some of that damage. The Stalker's now close enough to the Liberators, but also the Liberator's dealing so much damage. Is he going to have enough after this attack is done? Seems like Terran actually can start to push forward here. We're going to need to see another Warping round here for Protoss.
Indeed, we will need to. He is getting some more depths here. Definitely needs to be able to tank a little bit more for these Stalkers.
He
but
needs to blink under these Liberators.
Ooh, and in fact, he blinks to the side to try to pick him off. Does actually pick off some reinforcements that are coming up over there.
Okay, he's actually doing it. He needs to get that next Liberator. Get it
Reposition
fast.
that, and it doesn't reposition quite quickly enough
The Nexus lives here. However, so do the Medivacs, at least for now. If he could get any more pickoffs on these Medivacs, that would be huge.
Yeah, actually, if he blinks forward here, it's a little bit dangerous to move like that in case reinforcements are sitting right there. But Maru does make it out with some very critical units for sure.
Well, Zest is in good shape, guys. He's got his 4th base. I believe I've seen on the mini-map here a command center being lifted over here to the center left, and I understand why Maru's doing it, because he wants to keep pressure over here on the top left while still being able to defend that base. But that means one mistake from Maru further, and the counterattack from Protoss is going to smash that expansion.
Oh, man, this is a crazy game right now. Zest does have a little bit of an advantage in every way, it seems.
He does.
But Maru is definitely still in it.
Well, he's got Liberators, so he can hold off a lot more than Protoss can throw at him. But then again, we're already seeing, especially players like Zest, they know how to outmaneuver the Liberator.
Yeah. It's very much about that mobility, about not letting him really siege up at your expansion. That's where Maru is starting to come back into that fight. But the Liberators change locations and targets so slowly. And Protoss, this type of Protoss army at least, is super mobile.
Backing up with the Stalkers. We do have an Immortal in this. Now again, Protoss doesn't have to engage the Liberators. He can always try to go around it, and I think that's exactly what we're seeing right here. Watch out for that one Widow Mine, though.
That Oracle has been through a lot, man. 17 kills. It's been down into the red health so many times without losing the shields.
Okay, well, a couple things can happen here. Protoss can try to pry his way into the center left base, or we might see Protoss start to give some attention to the bottom left main location here for Terran, making the Liberators relocate. Maybe hitting that and then sending some DTs or a few Stalkers over there to the center left base. And I believe that's an orbital. No, it's a planetary. Okay. He actually floated a command center and then made that a planetary. But hold on, an attack over here, and it looks like Terran was a little bit out of position. Maru then scrambling to get back over here and defend his only base that has minerals at it.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. And look at that, great tag, just such good usage of this Oracle. I can't believe the value this single Oracle has gotten. But, oh, that is a big move right there, going after these probes, forcing Zest up into this area.
Oh, man.
He could bottleneck him.
Yeah, he actually might just force him to commit.
Ooh, but actually this army of Zest
Storm
is
drop.
pretty scary. Oh,
so huge.
Oh, my God. Fantastic move going down.
The Immortal coming down here with the rest of this army pushing. Adepts doing so much damage. 2 more Liberators coming here to set up. Can the Stalkers take them out in time? Warpman's over here on the center right.
Oh, I don't know. With 4 Liberators here, they're really going to town, and it looks like these Stalkers will be taken out very quickly.
Oh, but he just outpositions him. They're relocating now.
Ooh.
He's in pursuit.
All right.
Now remember, he only has to get 1 or 2 Stalkers behind the planetary, and Maru's not mining minerals anymore. So... Oh, or he could even just send an Oracle over there and start hitting stuff.
You know, the same can be said about Liberators going behind some of these bases.
Yep, that's true.
In fact, the closest Nexus has 0 probes at it right now. Might have had a Liberator over there, didn't really see, but oh, a nice blink in here, just picking off these units.
Oh, man, and this Archon doing so much splash damage here as well.
Oh, man, yeah, it looks like Zest is going to break Maru here.
Okay, he's going to ignore the planetary. He's going to go for the heart, saying if I take out your production facilities, you lose anyways.
Yeah, and this is the last stand of Maru, unfortunately.
We saw that MVP Oracle finally die what might be the last battle here.
I think Maru isn't going to be in CodeA stasis.
I don't think so. Even though this was a close series, the results don't speak that way. 3-0.
Certainly was, but you know what? Really good game 1, really good game 3.
By the
Maru
way,
playing
guys,
very well, but Zest just picking off Liberator after Liberator.
After this game, don't go anywhere. We have an extra best of 5 today with Jadon. GG.
Wow.
Wow. Zest is just too good, man.
Yeah, he really, really is. A fantastic play right there.
All right, guys, I'm going to step away so our very special Sojung can translate the winner's interview. I'll be back in the next Best of 5.
All right. See you later, Tasty McTosis.
That was the very unexpected 3-0 from tonight, I think. Least expected.
I was really hoping to see a 3-2 one way or the other there, but Zest a little bit too strong.
I thought Protoss was nerfed. What happened?
They have, well, they don't need to kill all your SCVs. They can play the longer game too. But Maru really showing a lot of great plays there. We haven't seen him as much in Legacy of the Void yet, but he definitely has a bright future, no doubt.
I think Maru is not coming out of the booth. Is he crying? No, right?
Well, I don't know. He could be.
조성주 선수 잡아내고 올라갔습니다. 승리 소감 한번
Let's
들어보죠.
see how he feels.
일단
At first,
패치가 되고 나서 경기를 해서
I'm playing after the patch, so I was kind of worried about this.
올라가서 되게 기분이
But I'm happy that I've made it up to CodeA.
오늘 뭐 스코어는 3대0으로 좀 앞서고 얻었습니다. 그래도 경기 내용에서는 이 만만치 않은
It's a
승부였죠.
3-0, but as you
경기를 치를 때
mentioned,
첫 번째
it
경기
was
어떤
kind of
느낌이
a
들었습니까?
half-and-half game, I guess.
제가 이 빌드를 좀
It was a very close
자주
game.
썼었는데
I've used this build a lot,
분들이
but
의식하면서 해도 해당한 것 같아가지고 했는데
but I thought the opponents knew
성주가
about
되게
it,
후반전 생각보다 너무 잘해가지고
and Maru was actually standing up to it very well.
패치가
the latter part of the game.
이제
So I was kind of surprised.
많은 프로토스들이 이제
And before the patch,
좀 많이 어려울 것 같다라고 조금 이제 말을
Everyone
많이
said,
했었는데
you know, after
Yeah.
this patch, Protoss will have a hard time winning against Terrans.
뭐 이게 프로토스도 아직 가능성이 많이 남아 있는 것
But
같아요.
after seeing tonight's game, I think Protoss still has a chance of winning against Terrans. And
확실히
Kizaru was asking about the patch. After the patch, what's going to happen?
후반 갔을 때는
Well, in the very latter part of the game, I think it's we still have a chance for Protoss. But before that timing, it's kind of dangerous for us.
괜찮은
But I think it's okay.
그 조합이 되게 궁금한데
JYP asking about the
추적자의
combination.
힘을 주고 돌진광전사는
The
아예 쓰진
depth.
않았잖아요.
네.
그리고 이제 센터 싸움을 할 때 보통
And the
사이오닉
zealots.
이동으로 사도가 붙어주는 판단이 자주 나와야 되는데 오늘 경기에서는 그런 모습이 거의 안 나왔거든요.
Today we weren't able to
그게
see a depth
컨트롤의 차이가
use
좀
his
있는 건가요?
moves.
굳이 안 붙더라도 이득을 거둬줄 수 있다.
Asking about the
이런
controls.
그냥 사도는 몸빵용이라서
A depth is kind of like a tanker, I guess.
그
Not a
데미지는
direct
추적자랑
dealer with damages.
불멸자라든지 스톰으로
We have
그렇기 때문에
Immortals,
그냥
Storm.
버텨주기만 하면 돼.
So the adept has to just stay in place, I guess.
프로토스 선수들이
And for
패치에
Protoss
대해서
players,
의견이 좀 많았는데
there was a
좀
lot
이제
of comments.
프로토스가 안 좋아진 것 때문에 그냥 경기를 좀 하기 어려워져서
Now that
좀 싫어하는
Protoss
선수들이
is not good
있긴
to play,
하지만 오히려 프로토스의
it's really hard
난이도가
for Protoss to play.
올라가면서 좀 이겼을 때 좀 더 주목을 받을 수 있게
But
되고
now
좀
it's
인정을
harder
받을 수
for
있게
Protoss
돼서
players to
좋아하는
play.
쪽도 있을 것
So
같아요.
after you guys
또
win,
선수는
they will be
프로토스가
noticed
좀
more.
플레이하는데 어려워지게 된 게 개인적으로 좋아요, 나빠요.
Asking if this is a
솔직히
good
쉽게
thing.
이기는 게 좋긴 한데
Actually, I like winning easily.
너무 전에는 프로토스 선수들 하는 걸
But
봤는데
before, after I
너무
saw the Protoss
이겨도
players,
욕먹어가지고
you know, they win, they still get, you know, hated
좀
on.
안쓰러웠어요. 그래가지고
So I kind of felt bad watching it happen. You know, Protoss
그래가지고
players getting
저는
hated on after
차라리
winning.
패치
So,
되고 나서
I think
하는 게 마음 편하겠다 이런
It's
생각을
I feel
했는데
more comfortable that the patch
그래도
is
그건
done.
빈말인 것 같고 이기는 게 중요하니까
But still, you know, winning is the most important
그래도
thing.
이겨서 다행인
So
것 같아요.
네,
at least I won.
축하드리고 끝으로 이번 시즌 각오한 말씀 들어보겠습니다.
오늘 졌으면 또
If I lost
반면을
today,
날려먹을 뻔했는데
I would have, you know, blown away half
올라와서
of this
다행이고,
year.
연습
But I'm
더
glad I was
열심히 해서
be able to
우승까지
make it up
하도록
to
하겠습니다.
CodeA. I'll try to win this season.
네, 이어서 선물
This was
추첨을
Zest
해주시기
from
바랍니다.
KT Roaster.
오늘
Absolutely,
경기에서
one of those
승리를
players you got to
거두고
consider
조성주
has a
선수
chance to win this
조성주
season.
선수의
Is he good enough to take out TY is the real question. All right, we're going to jump to a quick commercial break, guys. When we come back, one of the main attractions, just like this match, it's going to be Jaedong against Leenock. We'll see you shortly.
AfreecaTV. It's yours. Yeah, and right now we want y'all to move back.
언제나 있는 그대로의 맑고 깨끗함을 지켜가라고 겨울을 잊은 강물이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성 사이다.
K3에 지치지 않는 열정으로
Passion is my fuel. The new K3.
복귀하냐 서울이에요? 쳤기 때문입니다. 아, 쳤기 때문이에요.
50대 출신의 처음과 끝에 장시간에
부럽습니다.
시작합니다.
안녕하세요. 달이 빛나는 밤의 문규리입니다. 오늘 제가 소개해드릴 노래는 2014년에 결성된 독일의 6인조 심포닉 메탈 밴드 비욘 더 블랙입니다. 2월 중순에 발매 예정인 2집의 타이틀곡 로스트 인 포에버인데요. 이 밴드의 리드 보컬은 95년생 제니퍼입니다. 보통 심포닉 메탈의 거친 톤이나 아주 높은 영역대의 음역대의 그런 톤이 아니라 맑고 깨끗한 보컬 톤을 가지고 있는데요. 본토에서는 종종 나이트위시의 계보를 이을 만한 밴드로 기대를 받고 있기도 합니다. 이쯤 되면 상당한 실력일 것 같은데 함께 들어볼까요? 비욘 더 블랙의 로스트 인 포에버.
Another day breaks.
다른 선수들 몇몇이 있을 거예요. 날 뽑으면 너 손목이 남아나지 않는다고 좀 인성이 올바르진 못해요.
문제가 생겼어요. 제 마음을 뺏겨버렸습니다. 귀엽고 사랑스러운 이영기 형 화이팅!
Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. I'm sexy and I know it.
Welcome to a GSL.
It's time, guys, for our final best of 5. A very special day here at the GSL CodeA. We're going to have Leenock against Jaedong. Jaedong is back.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a long time. You know, he always promised that he would come back to Korea to end his career because he was abroad for a long time playing here in StarCraft 2. You know, he had a wonderful time as a StarCraft 2 programmer, of course, a legend from Brood War, but in StarCraft 2, he did a great job, even getting second place to SOS.
One of the greats,
in a World Championships at BlizzCon once, but fell off for a little bit. It felt like he was like demotivated or something. But here he is. I don't know if he's going to measure up to Leenock though, because
I'm
Leenock
on the same
is
page, man.
This
I
kid's
have no
a
idea.
monster, Zerg.
Leenock is very solid. He's always been around, old school in StarCraft 2. I'm not sure what kind of shape Jaedong is in. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. Whereas Leenock right now being on KT, one of the best teams out there, Leenock has always been very good, and every year he shows us brilliance. There hasn't been a year since the beginning where we haven't looked at Leenock and been like, oh yeah, this guy's like playing really well.
And remember, there's only 2 GSL CodeA seasons this year, so I mean, there's a lot at stake here. One of these 2 guys is not going to move on. That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
It's all going to come down to this one best of 5 Zerg versus Zerg to see what happens.
Yeah, it's a really exciting match to watch a legend such as Jaedong attempted the GSL again. I didn't even know he was going to play the qualifiers, and bam, he was in CodeA.
And here he is now.
Oh, dude, the crowd just went crazy when the camera
crowd
went on.
Going nuts in here. By the way, we still got a pretty big audience considering it's nearly, what time is it? It's almost, I think, 5 minutes till 11 p.m. over here. A lot of people leaving here because they have to catch the train home.
Yeah, a lot of people staying, though, because they have to watch Jaedong play.
Yeah, these people are doing the right thing.
I would love, like, nothing in the world would be cooler than to watch Jaedong fight his way through the GSL.
Oh, my God, I would
like,
love
as much
to
as I
have
love
that.
Leenock, like, I mean, Jaedong, guys, is the greatest Zerg ever in StarCraft 1.
Yeah, that's right.
He revolutionized the race. You just, like a perfect player.
A banjo.
Pretty much.
A Zerg banjo, man. Man, we got these 5 maps for these guys to duke it out on. I think it could be a 3-0 either way. It might go 3-2.
I have no idea how this one will go.
This is a much more mysterious match for us because we haven't seen Jaedong in this arena in a while.
Yeah, we certainly haven't. I haven't seen Jaedong play in quite a while now. Let's see it, man. Let's let these 2 speak for themselves through their wonderful plays.
Our game is loading up. Tell your friends to join us here at GSL, going super late tonight with a very special match. Leenock against Jaedong.
GSL.
In the bottom left, StarCraft 2 veteran.
KT 로스터 리노.
In the upper right, in the red, the Brood War veteran.
기즈, 、 제동.
very accomplished in StarCraft 2 as well.
Yes, very true. I mean, maybe that's a bit overshadowed, though, by how insanely good he was in Brood War.
No,
but
it's not even
even close, really. But
yeah,
he certainly has made a splash in StarCraft 2 more than once.
Yeah. Really, really exciting to see if he can do it here. I hope that he has been practicing like mad because, like, he's getting up there in his pro gamer years for sure.
Yeah, he's one of our older pros.
Yeah, he's been a pro for a long time.
Oh, and that's actually Jaedong's book. Did you know he wrote a book?
I did not know.
Yeah, he did write a book.
That's awesome. Is it translated?
No.
I'd love to give it a look. Well, hopefully it will get translated.
Yeah, hopefully.
The documentary about him is fantastic. Once again, I mentioned this to you previously. It featured like him in Impact the most.
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly about Jaedong though, but like really, really, really well made. I brought tears in my eyes when I watched it. Actually.
Wow. So cool, man. We have the hatches about to finish here. The builds are pretty mirrored. And we're seeing, so far it's identical. 4 Lings and 2 Queens now coming up.
Yep.
We're still waiting to see when is this going to deviate and how.
Very, very interested to see like if these guys turn on aggression against each other because they're both extremely good in crazy micro situations. But that doesn't mean that they can't play like the longer macro type of play. And once you hit a certain level of like Roach Ravager, it becomes very hard to kill each other. And like ZVZ becomes extremely interesting in my opinion at that point, where it's like, okay, where do you go from here? Like recently we've seen a lot of people like, if it is Roach Ravager versus Roach Ravager, switch into mutas and stuff like that. And it's like really cool stuff.
It becomes this tech jumping game, trying to outmaneuver your opponent with the proper unit combination.
Yeah.
The Baneling is coming down now. Baneling Nest, excuse me, coming down. This could be, as a deterrent and not really as an offensive play.
It seems that way for both.
We haven't seen any mass lings here, so it might not play too much of a role here, early Banelings.
Yeah, it really looks like for both sides, it's probably not going to be aggression. Yeah, they're both droning, so.
So both these guys trusted in the late game. We do have these red lings here of Jaedong poking up. Looks like he should be able to get up the... Nope, excuse me.
Yeah, speed's about to finish for both sides. We might see a little dart in here by Leenock as his finishes.
8 lings being made, man.